Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Full Time Devils. This is the podcast, the lockdown podcast with myself, Adam Mckola, Jay, Joe from Stretford Paddock, and of course, Angelina. Thank you guys for joining us. What's going on? We're all on lockdown and in our cells.
Yeah.
Joe's got a plant next to him.
I do, actually. You can count. There you go.
Yeah. Iceland flag as well. What's that about?
A what?
What's the Iceland flag about?
Oh, just someone bought it me when they went to Iceland. My mum went. That's why mums go to Iceland. So there you go.
They definitely didn't buy you that.
I promise.
That was a last-minute present. Like
found it on the floor after
they got it in their sandwich at the airport.
On the ferry there, sandwich, holding the burger together. Yeah, probably. Smells like meat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good shit. What's going on, Angelina? How are you doing in lockdown?
All good, yeah. Just trying to stay sane.
What have you been doing to stay sane?
What have I been doing? Jigsaws. That's how bad it's got, jigsaws.
Did jigsaws keep you sanity? Or?
No, they've calmed me down quite a lot considering how stressed out I am.
That probably means you're good at them then, right?
Yeah, I take it very seriously. It's got to that level in my house where we're taking jigsaws extremely seriously.
I remember once when I was a kid, I wanted one of those Puzz 3D things. Do you remember those things? Puzz.
Oh, you can build... Is that when you can build like the Eiffel Tower and stuff like that? And
Yeah. And my dad got me one and it still hasn't been complete since like 15 years. Those things were cool. Did they still make them?
Yeah, I've got a globe one at home.
Yeah.
They made the Old Trafford one recently. Well, that was Lego, wasn't it?
Mm.
That's like 300 quid though.
What?
Because, and again, this is how bad it is. My mum was actually going to buy it there to pass the time. And it's about, she rang me, she was like, do you realise how expensive this is? It's like 200-300 quid.
Bloody hell.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel closer to Jigsaw from the Saw films than I do actually completing a Jigsaw. Losing my mind, going around on a little tricycle and that. It's horrible.
What games have you set yourself?
I mean, no actual terrorising games, mostly just Call of Duty, to be honest. If I'm actually giving you the honest answer, a lot of Call of Duty Warzone.
So you've not been getting the family around the dining table like, let's play?
Not yet, no. Peeling people's scalps off and stuff. No, I haven't done any of that. I'll stay away from that.
Jay, you been getting on You Killed Your Kid yet?
Nah, I've been getting to know my neighbours, you know, because I had to keep knocking around their houses and saying, I'm really sorry, but my lad's thrown something into your garden.
Is that breaking social distancing rules? Or what?
Yeah, I have to knock on the door, then run to the edge of the path. Honestly, this is what I've been doing. Stand in the garden. I'm really sorry, my daughter's just thrown a stick into your garden. Can we have it back?
She loves that stick.
Yeah, it's a favourite stick. So it's been testing me, but I'm all right. I'm still in that sort of enjoying it time.
It is weird. I've kind of enjoyed speaking to my family, you know.
Really?
I don't normally speak to my family. I'll be honest with you. Like, I spend most of my time on the motorway.
Yeah.
I come home, I'm tired. I think, fuck this, fuck them. Like, I don't want to talk to them.
That's nice.
And now it's like, I have sleep. I'm going to sleep at good times sometimes, and like, I'm happy to see people.
Sounds like
I think lockdown's for me, to be honest.
Yeah. I always worry when I don't see a tweet. When I wake up in the morning and I don't see a tweet from Adam Mckola at like 4 a.m. I'm always worried, like, what's going on? Is he okay?
If I get a full 8 hours kip, you need to be worried, to be honest with you. Fucking hell. Cause some damage doing 8 hours kip. I tell you who needs 8 hours kip. Jack Grealish. What's going on there? Do you think he's fucking? And he's blown any chance of joining United. It was a great segue, I know, Joe.
No, I don't, personally. I think, listen, right now everyone's sort of frothing at the mouth about it and angry and, I can't believe he's done this and, you know, the country's in crisis and he's taking a piss and all this, that and the other. But in a month's time, no one's going to care.
And there will be other people doing it as well.
Exactly.
They've just not got caught.
And, you know, if we really wanted Jack Grealish, we need Jack Grealish. Is he going to stop us? No, I don't think it is. I don't think it'll stop us going for him. And I think, yeah, you'll get a bit of outrage now. You'll get reporters and journalists writing articles about how he's blown his £80 million move and all this other sort of stuff. But when push comes to shove, you know, money talks, and we need him, I think, and the club want him, and I think that's what ultimately will run the day. I think in a few months' time, or whenever the transfer window's open, whatever happens. I think if he is still a target, or if he was a target, which he looks like he was, then I think he will be, and I think we'll end up going for him again. I don't think this is going to scupper anything.
One thing you can be certain of, though, is that the sort of fuse that he'll have in terms of getting, articles about him in the press and stuff if he joins United has just been made slightly short about this. If he does anything wrong at United, it'll be bad boy Jack Grealish. He's been known for his problems in the past, that kind of thing. So he'll have no room to play with. But hopefully, this will have sort of cracked him up a little bit, thinking I've got to change. If this is the last thing like this that he does, hopefully he can learn from it. But yeah, if he does anything wrong while he's at United, if he does join United, the papers will be absolutely all over him.
It depends what it is though as well, because initially when it came out, like there was pictures of the cars that he'd hit. There was a picture of his car. There was no pictures of him. It was like he'd hit these cars and done a runner, and you're thinking, is he drunk? Is he under the all these kind of things are coming through your mind, and then he's come out and kind of squashed it all, saying it was an accident. I shouldn't have been out. So it depends how if more comes out, more information comes out to then what's on the face of it, then it could be an issue for him. But if it's just he's had a car crash, I mean, how many people have a car crash? You know what I mean? How many people have car accidents? I don't know. Yeah. And do you think we'll see him at United? Or is the fact that Pogba could be staying something that could prevent that?
Oh, I don't know. This Pogba drama, I'm just so over it. I don't even care anymore. No, but
it does seem like at the moment everyone's saying he's going to stay.
Yeah, I think he's missed the boat with his massive transfer, to be honest. And I think he's maybe that's why people are starting thinking that he's going to stay. And obviously Ollie's saying he's going to stay. And I don't know. He'll probably just get injured again anyway, even if he stays.
Do you think signing Jack Grealish would be dependent on Pogba leaving? Because let's say we sign Jadon Sancho. Jack Grealish is going to cost 50 to 80 million. So that's 200 million. Are United even going to spend that much money this summer after clubs have lost so much?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think it will be depending on Pogba, because then you've got Pogba, Fernandes, obviously if we do get Sancho as well. So I think it is a little bit it's more up in the air for him now than it was, say, 6 months ago. But it does depend on Pogba. It depends what happens with the season as well. But I think you've got a point with money and the financial situation at the minute. They're probably not going to want to be spending crazy money this season.
Because we usually spend around 150 mil net to 200 mil. So if we sold like Smalling, Jones and Rojo for, I don't know, 30 mil, like we signed Sancho, the route talks are like 100 mil, 110 mil. Like, I can't see us spending much more than 70 more million, and we need other players. So are we going to chuck that all in on Jack Grealish when maybe Pogba's going to stay? I don't know. It's a bit of a mad one, really. Have your opinion? Do you think Jack Grealish has a temperament to be a United player after this episode?
I don't think what he's doing outside of football necessarily affects. Well, I guess it does affect how you are on the pitch and stuff like that. But for me personally, I still think he's a great player, and I still think he'd be a really good asset.
Same. I don't think he boils piss, which is great.
Yeah, I don't like what he's done. It's just it's stupid and obviously illegal and just crap, absolutely crap. But from what I've seen of him on the pitch, I actually like how that side of him translates to him on the pitch. Generally, it seems like he's a bit of a leader. He's got a bit of swagger about him. He's got like it's something when you watch Aston Villa and he gets the ball, you go, oh, who's that? He immediately stands out as someone who's just got something different. Yeah, it's
a good arrogance.
Yeah, exactly. And I think occasionally that's going to get him in trouble on and off the pitch, as we've seen. But I think generally we are lacking that type of player. I think Bruno Fernandes has got that, and that's been one of the things where when you look at teams and how teams go from here and all of a sudden one or two signings and they're here, like Liverpool did with Van Dijk. Van Dijk's got that same thing. When he's on the ball, you think, oh, something's going on. There's something different about him. He's got an arrogance. He's got a sort of stature that brings more than just their qualities to a team. And I think Grealish has definitely got some of that, and hopefully that will translate to being a bit more for United. But I think that side of his personality, it needs focusing and harnessing and fixing off the pitch. But on the pitch, I think it's one of the best things about him.
He may have to learn as well, like the scrutiny. I know he's under scrutiny anyway because he's a big he's a talked about player. He's got a lot of attention, and there's the sort of the whole England thing about he's not playing for England and all that sort of stuff. But he will realise if he does come to United, the scrutiny is going to be magnified tenfold. Even when you go from somewhere like Villa, which is a big club, and you've got the attention of the media anyway, when you come to United, it's a different story, and he'll realise that. And I think part of the reason there's a lot of scrutiny as well is obviously there's what's going on. Everyone's in lockdown, so stories are getting amplified, and it is a big story. But the United angle's already been pushed as well. That's the main angle everyone's going down. Oh, he's lost his move to United. United are in that headline. Get United in that headline quick. It's, United target does this, not Jack Grealish. It's all about United, and I think that's one thing you'll have to get used to. That every little thing he does is magic. Every little thing he does when he comes to United will be amplified, and he is going to have to tone it down a little bit because it's going to be a difficult time for him if he comes to United and he's carrying on like this. But I don't know. Hopefully, he's still only a young lad, isn't he? And hopefully, he can learn from it as well. And it's come at a time when everyone's quite upset as well. So he's probably feeling it as well. He's probably realising. Hopefully, he's realised what he's done isn't going down well at a time when we're going through this crisis.
And if he wasn't under the influence, which we're assuming is not, then it's not as bad as some of the things he's done in the past, I guess. So yeah.
I don't want to make it all dark or anything, but footballers have done worse things. Not naming names, but Chelsea have got a left back who's done a lot worse than this. Who's still playing football. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't necessarily end your career because you've crashed your car. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. True so. Moving on, Jadon Sancho. Looks like that one might... The reports where it's unofficially confirmed. He's been chatting to people. Fabrizio Romano said, we've not spoken to Dortmund yet, but £98 million, 110 million euros is the starting price, or the lowest that they would accept. It looks like this move is going to happen. It's just where he's going to go. Is it United, Chelsea, Liverpool? Is it somebody else? Is Jadon Sancho United number one priority in the summer, or should it be, guys? I think he is, and I think he should be. I think there's the amount of people and the amount of reliable people that have talked about this transfer now. There's no doubt that we're interested in him. There's no doubt that we're after him. You hear rumours, you hear stories and stuff behind the scenes of him telling people that he's going to United, and like they were saying, unofficially confirmed. It seems as though people are willing to talk about this transfer on a kind of, off the record type basis, where the word is that it might be happening. But obviously that doesn't mean that it will happen. Things can change at any time and all that sort of stuff. But I think he has to be United's main target. United haven't signed a winger that was bought to be a right winger that played right wing since Antonio Valencia. So we're desperate in that side of the pitch. Wan-Bissaka's come in. He's been brilliant defensively at right back, and he's getting better going forward. But that right hand side on the up front has had Mata in it. It's had an aging Valencia in it. It's had Lukaku in it at times last season. Lingard sometimes.
Yeah, Lingard. We've had a sort of a host of players who aren't comfortable playing there over the last 10 years. And if those heat maps and those sort of average position maps that you see of United in that time is always skewed to a team that is playing down that left-hand side because we don't have players on the right. So the fact that a right winger is needed it goes without saying. And I think he is clearly the standout option in terms of his age, in terms of his quality. No teenager has scored more goals in Bundesliga history than Jadon Sancho. That's including every striker that's ever played. He's the highest scoring teenager in Bundesliga history. He turned 20 about a week ago. And he's got some of his stats are almost Messi level.
I think he's got 15 goals, 14 assists in 23, 24 games this season. He's already beaten his record from last season with 15, 16 games to go. His record is phenomenal. And there was talk United wanted to go in last summer, but weren't sure whether it was a flash in the pan or the consistency was there. But he seems to have that consistency now. What do you make of him, Angelina? Do you think he's the man to solve that right wing spot and maybe even solve the number 7 problem that we've had? We haven't had a good number 7 in a while.
Yeah, 100% agree with what Joe was saying, that to finally get a winger who is competent in that role is absolutely massive. I think, with Fernandes coming, hopefully, Rashford sooner rather than later, whenever the league starts back up, he's going to be back. So I think to have that addition in that kind of role is massive. Like, you were just talking about his stats. I don't think he is kind of like a one-hit wonder. Obviously, he's proving that. I think he could have a really good career at United. Obviously, fans would absolutely love him. I think he could do really good things. So yeah, I think it's a massive priority over maybe with Fernandes coming in this Pogba situation instead of midfield, as in central. I think focusing on that wing, because when you say that, like Antonio Valencia, that seems like 5 million years ago. So I think to have that bit rejuvenated is massive.
We had Di Maria in that as well.
And that's why I said bought and played at right wing. He ended up playing like sort of a false nine in central, played on the left as well. Yeah. All
over the place. Sanchez was one that I think could have played on the right wing, but we opted to just force Martial out. Well, we never.
No, that was your decision, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If I had my way, Martial would have been captain that season. Talking about Sancho though, Jay, do you think, like, going forward, when we look at the team, if we were to sign him now, we've got Martial, Rashford, Sancho, Wan-Bissaka. You've got all these kind of players that are popping up in positions that could be in those places for 5 to 10 years, and we're kind of seeing what could be the future of the team as well as the present. Seems to be a little vision there, doesn't there?
100%, mate. Yeah, definitely. And if you look at those players, already now, those players you mentioned, arguably almost world class. You could say they're not quite, but almost thereabouts. And they're only going to get better. So the next 2 or 3 years, if you had all those players, you had Sancho, you got Martial, who people forget is still relatively young.
Hang on, so can we just pull up a sec? You just said Rashford, world class. Almost world class.
Yeah.
World class. Martial, world class. I just want to hear you say it again.
Right, I tell you what, they're all world class. Rashford, Martial, Alan Wan-Bissaka, Dan James, Mason Greenwood, James Garner, Dylan Levitt, Ethan Laird. They're all world class, right? Clip that up, put it in your pipe and smoke it. So I think, like,
you've been putting a lot more in your pipe and smoking.
those days are over, as you well know. No, I think like you can see them though in 2 or 3 years getting there and being at the very top. There's no doubt in my mind that in 2 or 3 years, Marcus Rashford could be at the very top of football. Sancho, ditto Anthony Martial. And if you look at it as well, I've spoken about that fear factor in the past. It's almost coming back a little bit with Bruno. If you had Bruno, Pogba, I know we don't know what's happening, but if you did have Bruno, Pogba, Rashford, Martial, and Jadon Sancho, teams are going to fear that. It reminds me of the old times at United. When you used to think, oh, you've got Ronaldo, you've got Rooney, you've got Giggs, you've got Scholes, you've got all these players that can win you a game. And we've gone backwards in that way, where we've only had 1 or 2 match winners recently. And there you've got like 4 or 5 potential match winners. So I think, the future will be very bright if we manage to get Jadon Sancho. And I know it's not a popular thing, and I've said in the past, I think it's probably best that Paul Pogba does move on. But if Paul Pogba was to stay and be happy and form a partnership with Bruno Fernandes, that's pretty awesome, really.
That's, like I said, having that many players that can win you a game. When you looked like, even just 2 seasons ago, when you had, Rashford, who was a much younger player, you had Martial again, younger player who was sort of still finding his feet. They were both sort of fighting for that left wing spot. You had Lukaku, who was not really performing particularly well. There was times in games where you thought, no one can really do this here. No one's going to sort of bring us to win a game. But now when you, like I said, you've got 4 or 5 players who have all improved in that time. And people coming in, if it was the likes of Jadon Sancho, and the way he creates goals as well is just amazing. So you've got the creativity of Bruno, Pogba, and Sancho making chances for Rashford and Martial. That is, you're looking up towards the top teams in the league before you get a sort of front 5 that is even close to that, really.
How do you feel about the midfield? It's weird that we're talking about transfers and things, but. Yeah. We know there's more important things going on in the world, but we've got nothing else to talk about. But like going forward, like how do we feel about this midfield situation? Because I feel like we need something else in there. But then on the other hand, you've got the likes of Dylan Levitt, James Garner coming through. Nemanja Matic is getting a new contract. Fred has just found his feet. McTominay is doing well. You've got all these players in there that are going to be here next season. But I'd say, we need to strengthen that defensive area of midfield. So do you think we're going to overlook that in the transfer window and not sign someone up? Like, because I think the likes of Thomas Partey would be make a great sign in that position.
Yeah, I listen. I think Thomas Partey is a great player, and I agree with you there. But I don't see it happening, mate. I don't at all. I think that Ollie obviously loves Fred. He plays in practically every game. He rates McTominay. I think, did he say he's one of our most important players? Whatever, last summer he really spoke very highly of him. So I think because you've got other priorities, because you're looking at the likes of Sancho and the other players we mentioned, I don't really see it strengthening. I think we're going to have at least one more season of either McTominay or Fred, or maybe even Matic in that role. Personally, I'd like to see one player in a defensive midfield role and Bruno and Pogba, or Bruno and someone else in midfield. But we may be in a position where we have the likes of Fred and McTominay or Fred and Matic playing together with Bruno in front of him. But no, in answer to your question, I don't really think we will strengthen defensive midfield in a defensive midfield position, because I just don't think Ole sees it as a priority. I think he's happy with what he's got.
Could that be a problem then? Is there an oversight there that Matic is having this good period, but
I think
a new contract, is that the right thing to do if it's going to then hamstring us? Or is it, do you think we've got enough there to see through these 12 months and then maybe in 12 months reconsider things? I
think that we might well go in for a defensive midfielder in the summer, because I think before, like I said, Matic has come back and looked great, but I think what him being good has actually done, instead of saying, oh, you know what, that's a job sorted, we don't need to worry about that, I think that's highlighted the fact that he has already had periods in his career for United where he looked completely done. And you never know how long it will be before he goes back to there. It might be 2 years, it might be 2 weeks, because once that's happened once, the tendency for a player to sort of slip back into that kind of almost useless mode is going to be, more likely going forward. I think it's highlighted the fact that a strong, top-class defensive midfielder is the thing that gave this team all those clean sheets. Like, not all of them, but most of those clean sheets that we've had in the last sort of 20 games or so have been since Matic has come back into the squad. And I think a young version of Matic, or someone to play that role, like I said, Jay, about having just one defensive midfielder in there that can do it by themselves, I think it's highlighted a need for that, rather than, for me at least, it's highlighted rather than putting it to one side. And I think as well, the fact that we've sort of stumbled across this kind of short to medium term option up front in Igalo, which was clearly a position we were targeting before. We were looking at Haaland, who would have been a long-term and big money, or not necessarily big money because it turned out to be quite cheap, didn't it? But he would have been a long-term goal and someone that we had to kind of scramble quickly to replace in the squad. We've got Igalo in. He's kind of fallen on his feet, and I think that is the position that maybe will get pushed to one side now, when we were clearly looking to strengthen there. And I think hopefully that will mean that we can look for a more sort of certain and solid defensive midfielder that, like I said, we've got all these players who are 23, 24. The only defensive midfielder we've got at the club who's a true sort of tackling, combative midfielder is 31, and he's already had, like I said, a period in his United career where he looked like he was finished. I think we need someone to come in and be the new Matic.
Therefore, you agree with that, Angelina? And, outside right wing, do you think defensive midfield is the area that needs strengthening the most, or would you think it's another area?
No, I would probably agree with that. I think Matic is, it's a weird one, because at the beginning of the season, well, going back like before Christmas, when he started to become a little bit more decent, I was kind of like, you know what, let him advertise himself so he can get sold. Like, I wasn't even that invested. And then he's obviously proved his worth. So a part of you is kind of like, well, maybe we do want to keep him. Obviously, there's this contract situation now. So, but I don't trust him in to be competent and decent for the next season coming up, the entire season. I don't think he's got it in him. So yeah, I think if in a perfect world, I think 100% we should invest in that area, but I don't know if I can see it happening this summer or whenever the transfers are going to happen.
That's what I'm reckoning as well, which is a bit sad. Is there anything you else want to chat about? Harry Kane's been talking, there's been a few other things.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that Harry Kane thing, because people were saying oh yeah, we should go for Harry Kane, and there's other people saying, oh, we couldn't get him anyway. And I think,
shit.
Yeah, I mean, It's weird because I think if we really wanted Harry Kane, I think we could get him. I do. I honestly do. I think like people go, well, it's a sideways move, or he's not going to win anything at United. But I think there's an argument that maybe if he came into this United team, maybe he would win things at United and the way it's going forward. So I don't think it's a case of he wouldn't come to Manchester United. I think if we offered him money and I don't think we can get him. I think we can afford it. Oh right, yeah. Sorry.
The money's the only issue for me.
Yeah, I think if we wanted him and we had, we went for him, I think we could get him. I don't think he'd be like, oh no, I'm not coming to Manchester United.
No.
I think that's my point. Is like, I think he would come to this club because it's let's have it right. It's a bigger club than Spurs, and even in this dark period we're in, we've still managed to win trophies.
Yeah.
So it's not like he wouldn't come here and win trophies. I think he actually would. I just don't know. I think. Would it upset the balance slightly of what we're doing? I know that sounds crackers because he's a player that arguably bangs you in 30 goals a season, but if he's coming in, then he's probably going to play. Is he going to play off Martial? Is he taking Martial's spot? Does that mean you're not bringing Sancho in? I think it just changes things slightly. I don't think if we need to change it.
You could put Kane with Martial, Rashford either side.
So then you wouldn't get Sancho potentially. Then I'm guessing.
And that's why I think Sancho's a better. Kane's not coming to United, man. He would. Joe, you want to say?
Yeah, I think he would. I think. Yeah. The idea that, no offense, not even no offense, because it is a bit offensive, but it's true. Tottenham haven't won anything in 12 years, and people liked Pochettino, and they liked that they were playing this good style of football. They moved into this new stadium. They did a decent cut run in the Champions League. They don't win anything, and even United, who have been crap, have won 6 or 7 trophies in the last 10 years. Tottenham have won none. Like the idea that, it's a sideways step. It's not a sideways step from Tottenham and United. There's no, like I said, the only reason he wouldn't come is because Daniel Levy wants 170 million quid for an injury-prone 26-year-old. He's an excellent player, but I think we've seen one of the best things or one of my favourite things about this season is the fact that our 2 centre-backs have hardly been injured at all season. And it's the first time we've had that since, 2008. Vidic started getting injury prone. Then we had Phil Jones and Smalling taking it in turns. Bailly coming in, getting injured all the time. Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, people aren't always the biggest fan of Victor Lindelof, but them two being fit for almost all of the season has been, I think, such a big part of why these clean sheets have come in the later part of the season. And bringing in an injury prone striker to, like I said, kind of knock Martial, who just seems to be kind of learning the ropes again as to what it means to be a sort of a solo number 9. I think it's just going to put too much doubt in there. But I think he'd come to United. I just don't think it's the right fit, and I don't think he's the right. I don't think we need a big name striker like that at the moment.
Well, Harry Kane has 0 goals in 2020. Anthony Martial has fucking loads.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
So what does that tell you? Angelina, anything else you want to talk about? Is there any stories that have come up? If you want to talk about Kane, that's fine. But is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I think this. Well, I read today about this Sanchez situation. I mean, it's just so
back.
Is it bad that I proper feel sorry for him?
Yes.
Why?
I
don't know why.
More than anyone at Manchester United.
I agree with you, Angelina.
Podcast has been recorded. He's earned more than we'll earn between us in a year. Don't feel sorry for him.
I feel sorry for him.
Not money-wise. I mean, I'm sure he's living it up with these dogs that he's obsessed with and his giant mansion and whatever. But I just feel like his career...
Yeah. He's got to be a bit depressed, hasn't he?
I know that he's probably sleeping with a blanket of money to keep him warm at night, but I get what you mean. I do just feel sorry for him. It's a sorry sight, his career at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah. And those dogs, when you say about those dogs, it makes you realise that no matter how rich you are, nothing's better than just having a dog about. So there's no way he's immune to depression and being sad. I've never seen a player in my entire life go from being arguably the best player in the Premier League and 12 months later being arguably the worst player in the Premier League. I don't think that's ever happened before. His drop in his career from the start of the season when he was at Arsenal, then he joined us in January, didn't he?
Yeah.
He came into that season being him and Hazard were the best 2 players in the league pretty much. And when he joined Man United, 6 months later...
Lukaku and Sanchez were the top goal scorers in the league.
I mean...
we got them both and fucked them.
Exactly. Has that ever happened before where a player has gone from that? It's not like he's 35, he's 29, 30 when he's...
Wayne Rooney had a really I think that was because he got older. It wasn't anything like something.
Yeah.
But he really, like, when he was bad, he stank the place out.
He did, but he
never went from the best Wayne Rooney to that.
No.
It was such a rapid decline as well.
I've never seen anything like it.
Torres had a bit of a similar thing, didn't he? Torres slightly when he went from Liverpool to Chelsea. But even Torres, like in those dark days at Chelsea, managed to score in the Champions League semi-final, managed to score like some important goals. So, but with Sanchez, for me, he's our worst ever signing. Not that he's the worst player we've ever had, but in the fact the expectation and the reality was so far apart from one another. He was, like you say, he was amazing at Arsenal. Whenever we used to play Arsenal, I was always scared of him. And now, when we got him, I was excited. I thought, this is it.
He retired Darmian, didn't he, really?
In about half an hour, wasn't it?
We're 3-0 down after about 25 minutes.
Yeah, Darmian was mint going into that game.
Yeah.
He was flying, and then he got fucked by Sanchez, and then just disappeared.
And it did so many problems. Well, you mentioned like Martial, who was doing really well, and then he got dropped for him. Yeah, exactly. The way
Martial would have been a World Cup winner right now, and he would have already had a 20-goal plus campaign.
I agree. And even for the cup final, it was like great. Now we're relying on him, and he was a spent force, and everything like the wages. He was on silly money, which upset everyone.
That introduction as well, when he was playing the piano and all that.
I like that.
It peaked, and then it just went.
I like that.
But that was it. Everything was like top drawer, wasn't it? Like the money, the introduction, everything. It just went to shit.
It's because it felt like we signed him for the wrong reasons. Like it was like, shit, City are getting him. Let's try and make a statement. Obviously, we as fans all wanted him, but it didn't seem to be done for the right reasons behind closed doors. And now you look at signings, they seem to be done for the right reason. So when you see Jack Grealish being involved in this, you almost think, fuck, has he fucked it? Because we seem to be going away from signing people that have questionable characters. And Sanchez did have a questionable character. I mean, he was reports of him being a proper loner at Arsenal, nobody in the dressing room really liking him.
Does he speak English as well, or not?
I don't think he does, but I don't think that's an issue with
Brexit. Right? Send the buggers back, eh?
Exactly.
I don't think that's an issue with footballers, though. Like,
Seven's never spoke English, did he? So,
I'm just thinking regarding like your teammates and just getting about in general. Like I'm living in Berlin at the moment. I don't speak a word of German. It is stressful.
Good job you're on lockdown.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think it was weird because even that though, like when we wanted Sanchez, we wanted him that desperately. I remember people saying he's fell out with all the Arsenal players, and then the narrative was like, oh, he's fell out with them because they're not at the level he is and they've not got the desire he has, and this shows how good he is and all that nonsense. And it's like you try and convince yourself, don't you? And then, when he came, it was like he had a good game against Yeovil.
For a PR company, and they worked with the Arsenal team towards the back end of his reign at Arsenal, and like all of the Arsenal players just didn't just clean.
That's a nice face he's pulling there, isn't it?
He's gone.
We've lost him. Oh, he's back. There he is.
He's back there. I think Sanchez. Yeah, we lost you there for a minute talking about Sanchez.
Sanchez is cutting your wires on your internet box outside.
You got to see your mate about your mate at a PR company.
Yeah, so one of my mates worked at a PR company, and I was speaking to him, and he was saying to me how they worked with the Arsenal team in Sanchez's last months, and just no one in the Arsenal team liked Sanchez, and it was clearly visible.
I feel more sorry for him now. What's wrong with me?
I don't. And also, we're all talking like he left Man United 3 years ago. He's going to be at United at the start of next season.
He can prove us wrong, like Matic, right?
No, it's different. It's way different.
Going to be well awkward, isn't it?
Matic came into a midfield that was desperate.
Hold on. If Sanchez comes back, then Sancho can't have 7, right? Unless Sanchez says... Oh, no. Imagine that United are print in the shirts and then they just stop at the EZ and put an O on it. And Sanchez is like, what the fuck's all this about?
Loads of E's and Z's on the dressing floor, but they've peeled them all off.
Another announcement video on a piano.
Yeah, he's getting absolutely Ibrahimovic, didn't he? If Sancho comes in, like when he took up Martial's number, there is no way that Sancho comes in and don't get that number 7. What are we going to do with Sanchez though? Are we going to loan him out again? Just What? Honestly,
there's been rumours in South America that he's available for 17 million, and there's clubs from Chile and the surrounding countries that are interested in him. But are they going to be able to afford his wages? Is he going to have a wage? Is he going to be happy to take a hit in wages? Are United going to have to loan him and still pay him? Like, it's fucking weird. The only hope we had was that he did half decent, like Smalling has done, and a deal.
I actually wanted him to do well, like.
Yeah, so did I.
Even just for himself, do you know what I mean? Because I clearly feel so sorry for him for no apparent reason. I just was really backing him to actually do something decent and kind of redeem himself a little bit.
His first game he scored, didn't he? And did he score and like he had a game where he scored and the ball just hit him like it was an accident.
Yeah.
And you just thought that's the bit of luck he needs just to get and then.
I don't think any amount of luck at this point is enough to sort of resurrect what was there before. That's the thing, isn't it? If he goes back to South America, he's on like 400 grand a week or something with bonuses and playtime bonuses and stuff at United. And who knows what to believe on that? But he's going to take like a 250 grand a week pay cut.
It's whether he thinks, mate, I've been blagging this for so long, I may as well or we loan him back or something like that.
But yeah, I think he no offence to him again, but he has to go, doesn't he? However, by whichever method it is, he has to leave. If he's in the squad and in the team playing like he has been, and we start losing matches, he is the easiest, sort of most visually obvious symptom of a team that isn't trying, that doesn't look very good, that is a spent force, all this sort of stuff. He is all the problems with Man United personified.
Even his wages, we just can't have that.
Literally everything about him as a transfer, like you said, Jay, about him being possibly United's worst transfer ever. Every single point of how that deal happened, with the money, how he played, the fact that it was, like I said, linking in with this storyline at the time that there were a lot of players in the team who didn't want to be there, who weren't trying very hard, and he was there, this like figure sat eating by himself at lunchtime, getting paid too much money, worst player on the team, all that sort of stuff. He's such an obvious figure for that, and I think we just can't have him there anymore.
I agree. Quick one. I was just going to say, I just wanted to make clear, I don't hate on Sanchez. I don't hate the guy. He's not like one of those players.
You do hate him.
That way.
You hate him. It seems like you hate him.
Sympathy for him. You're just hating on him, but whatever.
You said it. You called him all sorts before we went on.
Yeah. We're going to tell
no one likes the grass.
Said bad things about his dogs as well. That's
all.
Smalling, bring him back, yes or no?
Oh.
No.
He's had a good spell in Roma, but I think, again, it'll be rose-tinted glasses. It's exactly, and I'll be like,
Joe?
And then as soon as he makes a mistake at United, everyone will be like, well, we've brought him back.
I'd be judging him if he didn't do well at Roma in the Italian league, to be honest.
Joe?
I reckon, I think don't bring him back, but not because it makes us look bad, but because he's actually got a chance to be in a team where he's enjoyed by the fans, he looks good, he's playing well. I think just for him, he needs to go. I think he would probably be the fourth best, or maybe fifth behind Twanzebe, but best defender we've got. I think he's probably better than Phil Jones. I think as much as I like Eric Bailly, he's physically more reliable than Eric Bailly is, but he's got a chance now to play for a club where he's loved. It's a bit cheesy, but when you look at Phil Jones, what he's saying about his own testimonial, that it's only his own family that would turn up. I don't want Chris Smalling to have to think that as well. Like, go to a club where you enjoyed, you're playing well, you look good in that league. Yeah, let him go.
You know what's funny? Yeah, we joked about that before Phil Jones come out and said that in an interview, and it's
so
fucking. I feel
that is heartbreaking. That is genuinely.
I felt sorry for Phil.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, it's like I was saying this to Jesse Lingard when I interviewed him at the time. I was like, if you're Wilfred Zaha, you can lose every week and still do what the fuck you want off the pitch. You can do all the commercial deals you want, but if you play for United and you lose or you play shit, you can't leave your house. You got to stay at home and shut up.
Well, I know what we should do? This is what we should do, right? Make the United's first game back at Old Trafford be Phil Jones' testimonial, because everyone will be so giddy, so excited, so happy.
Just don't tell anyone until it actually kicks off.
Yeah, so excited. It's Phil Jones' testimonial. We'll be so happy. We'll be.
Why is Phil Jones master?
Who cares? It don't matter. Hey, go on, Phil. Best player we've ever had. I'd say that. I'd be so pissed that I'd say that the first game back. That's what we need to do to give him a proper send-off.
That's a good one.
That's got to be the worst thing Fergie's ever said, that, by the way. Seriously.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was right behind Fergie with those kind of statements. Wally of the Weeks.
I am Madam Mckola.
Grealish. I said it as quickly.
Sorry, Jack. I love you, and the offer's still there for lifts to Old Trafford, but you're a knobhead this week.
Yeah,
You've been a Wally this week. I think he'd say it himself as well.
He did. He did on Twitter, didn't he?
Who's your Wally of the Week, Jay? Angelina? Anyone?
I'm trying to think of someone different, but it's difficult, isn't it, man?
Benzema.
Ooh.
Because I can't be arsed. I don't know why he's coming for Giroud for no actual reason. He's just bored at home. And what did he say? He was like, I'm basically saying I'm like a Formula One car, and he's like a go-kart. It's like, he's got a World Cup, mate. Calm down.
Yeah, I love that. No, he's only got a World Cup because Didier Deschamps don't like Benzema.
Yeah. But
right.
I just feel like he needs to just stay in his own lane. Like, stop coming for random people because you're bored.
What you said is true.
Yeah, but that's what makes it worse.
Oh,
it's like, why are you coming? What's he ever done to him? It's not his fault.
He is an F1 car, and Giroud is a go-kart, and we all know that.
Benzema, you deserve to be bitter.
Nah, I don't think he does.
But he's being bitter at the wrong people.
Yeah, so fuck Giroud. Like, yo, I think football misses that. Like, people just say, you know what, he's a prick.
Yeah, but I don't mind it if it's like if Giroud said it about Benzema, I'd think, yeah, fair enough. But Benzema, because Benzema just looks like an insecure idiot. He's won 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years.
It's like, why is he making these moves? It's like, get it.
Yeah,
just sit down and calm down.
Yeah, he needs to just chill out. He looks desperate. You're looking desperate.
Yeah, desperate for content.
The French national team is mental, though. It is.
Yeah, it always has been.
It's always been crazy. Like kicking off with each other at World Cups, sacking the manager in the middle of World Cup, but not letting him leave. It's like, it's mental. Like, so there's always
James Cameron right now bouncing all over the fucking place. Are you on a trampoline, Jay?
Got this.
Show up.
I've had to find a use for all this toilet roll we've got.
Fucking hell.
Sorry. I'll agree. I'll go with you, Macca, on my Wally of the Week. I'll go with Grealish.
Yeah, we can't. I don't think we can allow Benzema.
I'm going to say that.
I think football needs bastards. Football needs more bastards.
Yeah, but not insecure bastards. Bastards who are like kick someone who's on the same level as you. Don't kick Giroud.
Yeah, just let him be.
Yeah. He didn't have a shot on target in the World Cup.
I don't feel sorry for Giroud. He's a bit of a twat, Giroud.
I don't feel sorry for Giroud. I just don't think Benzema looks good for saying what he said.
Yeah,
if he came after Ronaldo and was like, you know what, it was me that won us all those titles. Ronaldo scored 50 goals a year, but
I'd be in support of that because I'd be like, you know what?
Giroud's Wally of the Week for staying quiet about it.
There we go.
There
we go.
I like that on Instagram Live and say, go fuck yourself, Kareem, with your World Cup winners medal on. Then I'll respect you a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you were with 4 Champions
League. Would you rather be Giroud or Benzema? Back to back Champions League World Cup.
Definitely, but that's part of the problem.
Difficult, that, isn't it?
I'd rather be Benzema.
Yeah, World Cup's all right, but 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years, that's like, for 4 years he got that full experience of, or 5 years, he got that every single year we're challenging for the Champions League. Benzema, Giroud only felt good for a month. Because he didn't really kick.
And he didn't even score the shit.
He didn't have a shot on target.
That's why he deserves everything he gets from Benzema.
You changed your tune.
No, I
haven't.
I have.
Are we all team Benzema now then?
Yeah, get rid of Giroud.
Fine, yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah, well done, Benzema. Get stuck in. Do it more as well. Right. Anything anyone wants to add?
No, I think you've done well there.
Follow Angelina on Twitter. I don't know what Jay, what you doing? Send him some help.
Homeschooling, man. That's the new thing, man. Isn't it? It's long. I don't even know the answers to these questions. For 9-year-olds.
Are you kidding? Key stage. That's key stage 1.
Don't baffle me with science, mate. What are you, a fucking cop? Never mind about that.
Anyway, make sure you're watching, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to Full Time Devils. Keep it locked. Yeah, that's it. We're gone. See you later.